If you're a software engineer, you've definitely felt it, right? There's this change in the air, a huge shift in the tools we use, and this constant drumbeat about AI. So the big question is this just another fancy tool, or is this a full-blown revolution that's going to redefine the job as we know it? Let's break down what's really happening, where AI and code collide.
Okay, let's just pause on that for a second. Tectonic shift. They use that phrase for a reason. This isn't like a new JavaScript framework or a slightly faster compiler. We're talking about the very ground beneath software development moving, creating a completely new landscape. And that, right there, leads us to the one question that's on everybody's mind. It's not really about the tech in some abstract way, is it? It's about our careers, the skills we've built, and what our future looks like. So, are the robots actually coming for our keyboards? To even begin to answer that, we've got to get real about what these new AI tools can actually do. This isn't some far-off science fiction. This stuff is happening in our IDEs right now.
So these large language models, the LLMs powering the tools, they basically have four superpowers. First, they can spin up code from a simple English sentence. Second, they can take ancient, dusty code, think COBOL, and translate it into something modern like Java. Third, they can look at your existing code and refactor it, making it faster and cleaner. And finally, they can handle one of the most dreaded parts of the job, writing the documentation. All of this just puts the development cycle on hyperdrive. Now, what's really fascinating here is the evolution. We all started at level 1, right? With basic code completion, like the early days of GitHub Copilot. But now we're deep into levels 2 and 3, where these AI agents can handle really complex, multi-step jobs as long as a human is supervising. But the final destination, the one everyone's talking about, that's level 4, the autonomous engineer, an AI that could literally act like another member of your team. And that idea of an autonomous engineer is, well, that's where things get pretty controversial, because it connects directly to this massive wave of tech layoffs we've been seeing. All the headlines are screaming AI, but is that really the whole story? So you've got these two totally different stories playing out side by side. On one hand, you have the official line from CEOs. This is a strategic AI pivot. But then you have a lot of economists saying, hang on a second. They argue AI is just a convenient excuse to cover up for other things, like correcting for all the overhiring during the pandemic. And, making Wall Street happy by cutting costs. But here's the thing. The impact isn't being felt evenly. A 2025 Stanford study found this number, a stark 13% drop in employment for early career workers in jobs that are most exposed to AI, like software engineering. Why? Because the routine, entry-level tasks are the easiest to automate first, and that's hitting the newest people in the industry the hardest. Okay, so if AI is having this kind of impact, just how good is it really? To get past the hype and the fear, let's take a look at its actual report card, what it does well and where it just completely faceplants. On paper, in a controlled lab environment, AI looks like an absolute genius. On standardized tests like SWE Bench, where you have a clear problem and an automated test to check the answer, these AI agents get incredible scores. They are fantastic at solving clean, isolated problems. But, and this is a huge but, here's the reality check. A 2025 study threw AI into the messy, chaotic world of a real software project, and the results were kind of shocking. For complex tasks, the kind that require understanding a huge existing codebase and collaborating with people, the AI actually made developers slower. And that's because of some really deep fundamental limitations. AI doesn't reason like we do. It's just a super fancy autocomplete predicting the next piece of text. It can easily copy security flaws it learned from its training data. It hallucinates. It just makes up code that looks right but is totally wrong. And maybe most importantly, it has zero, and I mean zero, understanding of the business goals or the user's needs behind the code it's writing. So if AI isn't a simple replacement, then what is it? This huge gap in performance is forcing a complete redefinition of what it even means to be a software engineer. The value is no longer just about hammering out lines of code. So welcome to the age of the AI orchestrator. Think of it this way. In this new role, the engineer isn't playing every instrument in the orchestra. Instead, they're the conductor. They specify the goal, they guide the AI agents, they double-check the work, and they integrate all the pieces into one beautiful, working application. And that demands a whole new toolkit of skills. Yeah, deep technical knowledge is more important than ever, because you have to be able to spot when the AI messes up. But now, strategic thinking and all those so-called soft skills, communication, collaboration, ethics, they're moving from the nice-to-have column to the absolutely critical one. This table just lays it all out, plain and simple. It shows the new division of labor. AI is an amazing tool, but it's weak exactly where humans are strong, dealing with messy, ambiguous problems, real creativity, understanding the big picture, and making ethical calls. We're not competitors. We're complementary.
Okay, so let's bring this all home. What does all of this mean for you, for your company, and honestly for all of us? What should we be doing right now to get ready for what's coming?
The big picture, the long-term vision, is this idea of a marketplace of agents. I want you to imagine you're a general contractor building a house. You don't lay every single brick yourself, right? You hire specialists, plumbers, electricians. The engineer of the future will do the same thing, but they'll be hiring specialized AI agents for things like databases or security, and then orchestrating all their work.
For companies, the path forward is actually pretty clear. You've got to use AI to make your experienced talent even better, not just to automate away your junior roles. You absolutely have to rethink how you train new engineers, because that old entry-level path is disappearing. And you need to stop just talking about AI ethics and actually build real rules and accountability into your systems.
And for all you developers out there, the message is just as direct. It is time to adapt. Evolve your skills towards strategy, big picture problem solving. Become an absolute wizard at using these AI tools to make yourself 10 times more productive. And maybe specialize in areas that are really hard for AI to automate, like cybersecurity, or hey, building the AIs themselves. And this doesn't just happen in a tech bubble. This whole thing ripples out and affects all of society. Educators have got to stop just teaching the syntax of the day and get back to teaching timeless fundamentals and ethical reasoning. And policymakers, they have a huge job to do, from strengthening social safety nets to creating real legal frameworks so companies can't just get away with ethics washing. So all of this leads us to one final, massive question. The autonomous engineer is coming. It's on the horizon. As we rely more and more on these incredibly powerful tools, are we building a smarter, more capable, supercharged workforce? Or are we building a more fragile one that's dangerously dependent on tools we don't even fully understand anymore? The choice for now is still ours to make.